Hi, Tara. Thank you for joining me
Hi.
today. Why
Yes.
don't you just give us a little introduction and tell us what your fitness journey was like before training with me?
So my name's Tara. Um, Friends with Lexie. My fitness journey before training was I was light running, I would say. I definitely do some strength training a couple times a week, and I was doing some cardio a couple times a week, but I guess I had lightened my running. So I was probably running a couple miles a week before this.
Nice. So you were fairly active before training
Yes.
for this. Okay,
Yeah, I would work out at least 5 to 6 days a week.
nice. How about your lifestyle? Did you do you think you had a lot of healthy behaviors going on, or was that kind of aligning with your training?
Yeah, I definitely have a healthier lifestyle than I ever had before. So I do eat, I have green smoothies for breakfast. I try to eat healthier carbs and proteins and stuff like that. So that was always a part of eating healthy has always been a part of my life since I've been in Hawaii.
Yay. So I think that probably contributed a little bit to your success here in this half marathon.
Yes. Yes,
Nice.
eating healthy definitely helps. I would say that sugars are always a problem. I don't enjoy eating a lot of sugars, but there's sugar in everything. So even it's hard to find stuff without sugar.
I feel you. America puts sugar in everything, even milk,
Yeah.
which I think is crazy.
All right.
So question two, when did you first become aware of Rise Up Point and what attracted you to the business?
So I first became aware of Lexie at church. We met at church, and what attracted me to Lexie and her business was that there's a drive. I could sense a really high drive and a passion for health and fitness, and definitely sense the athlete. Um, there's there's a light about you that makes it exciting to want to do stuff like this. So
Yay.
that's what attracted me.
Thank you for those kind words, Tara.
Yeah.
What made you decide to run a half marathon?
Well, you had heard that was already a runner, and when it was approached to me by you with a really attainable training plan, and so that's kind of what made me decide. Plus, I prayed on it. I did
Yeah.
pray on it, and I felt like doing something like this would really build some confidence. It's like a overcoming obstacle type thing. Like those, I really enjoy doing those kind of things because there's something to that. So that's what made me decide to run it. Overcoming obstacles and you presenting it to me in such an attainable way. Like it didn't seem far fetched or like out of like too hard of a training plan. It was seemed really attainable and structured.
Yeah. Perfect. What was the significance of this half marathon to you? You kind of were touching on it a little bit, but
Yeah.
what did this achievement mean to you specifically?
The If I could do it, I really enjoy challenges. And so this was something presented as a challenge, right? Um, it also, the significance of it would be what it meant to me was was two things. It meant two things to me. That one, I could hang out with you and get to know you more. That was number one. And number two, I knew that it could help me become more disciplined and more because I'm very goal oriented. So it was a good way to, I've never been on a training plan or done anything like this. So
Mhm.
it was something I wanted to try, definitely. And
Yeah,
it meant hanging out with you and getting to do something I'd never done before. That
yeah,
was a really cool challenge.
remembering that moment when I told you, I had just kind of came to the conclusion maybe a couple of days before, but I was like, hey, I'm just gonna tell everybody and see if somebody wants to do it with me.
Yeah.
But I just remember telling the room and everyone was kind of like trying to like hide in their chair, but you're like, hey,
I
I think
bet.
I can do this. And I just like
Yeah.
loved that boldness that you just like jumped out and was like, me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that you went
It
and
was
took time
fun.
to pray about it too. And then God
Yep.
gave us the go ahead. And so here we are.
Yep. I was nervous because I'd never done anything like this. And I wasn't really running. I had at one point was running 5 miles a day, but right before this, I kind of tapered off that. And so it's kind of cool that this was presented because it got me back into running again and it relighted my passion. And now it is like a weird passion to run.
I love it. I feel you though. I never thought running would be a passion of mine. I was like, I only like running for purpose. Like I want to run for soccer. I want to like have a purpose in that running, but now it's just kind of become a hobby for me as well through
Yeah.
this experience.
Yeah.
Yay. We were
Yeah.
novice buddies together.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So on to our next question. What was your experience like training for the 100% pure Kona coffee half marathon?
I have really good things to say. My experience training was really cool. We got to do long runs together, so that was cool. Um, Seeing where we were at because every time we ran together, I was getting a little bit better. Like so were you. Obviously, we were both just getting better. So seeing that was cool. Um, Training during the week, doing all the miles build up during the week was really fun because every time I cross, because I blew up the training plan and made it my calendar. And so every time I crossed off a day, I felt really good because these were, this was not an obstacle. I don't want to call it an obstacle, but this was a very intense challenge, right? And so doing the training looked intimidating, but as I was going through the days and as I would hit the long runs, I was like, this is fun. I'm having a fun time doing this and also getting through it. Like, oh my gosh, I could do this. Like day by day, it's happening. So the
Yeah.
experience during the training was really fun. It would make me I had such a good experience training that I can't wait to do it again.
Yay. I know every time we'd get it done and just checking it off, I think it really helped with accountability, would you say? So,
Yeah. Oh yeah. The looking at the plan, checking it off and going with it day by day, that was what really helped me. Because at the beginning I was like, how am I like I'm not gonna lie, I did look at it one point and say, how am I gonna get through all this running? Right. But then as like halfway through and I noticed all these crosses that I'm not missing a day, I'm like, oh my goodness. That's what made it so exciting is it was attainable. It was anybody could do this. It
yeah,
isn't like I'm a runner professionally type thing. This is so easy and attainable. Anybody could do it. And that made it
definitely.
exciting because I was achieving it. So the confidence from getting it done was really high. I couldn't have done it without you because you were very helpful and encouraging. And because I knew you were doing it with me, and there is some element of because of our age, like I knew that if you could do it, then I could do it. It was like, not that it was a big age difference, but I did have a little like, oh, this is a lot. This could be a lot. Can I do this? Not at my age, but can I do this without quitting or giving up? Right. So you were really encouraging in those areas because I was like, it's like healthy friend competition. If she could hit it, I can hit it. Right. So it's like, yes, she's hitting it. I'm going to do it. And then we would run together. I knew you're doing the training because we talk every day. And then when we run together, it gave me a lot of confidence because you were so encouraging during those runs just by staying at my pace and just being right next to me, like talking me through things. Like I learned a lot from you, like the steady state and what happens to our bodies. And I learned a lot. I learned a
I'm a
lot.
little bit of a
So
science nerd. I love that stuff, but I'm glad you appreciate that.
yeah, I did. I really did because I learned a lot that I'll take on forever.
Yay.
So I was really grateful that we could do it together. I couldn't have done it without you because doing this alone would have been so intimidating. Even though the training plan was very attainable and anybody could do it, doing it with a partner, doing it with you specifically made it fun, made it really like a cool, we're doing this together type thing. I
I had a
like that
blast
part of
doing it
that.
with you too.
Yeah.
Yay. So, next question. How did you feel when you finished the race and accomplished your goal?
Oh my gosh, it felt so good. At 2 hours and 28 minutes when I was here and I was almost to the thing, it hit me then, right before the finish line, that I was gonna hit it in the time goal that we had discussed at the beginning. And in the beginning, I was like, there was no way I was gonna hit it in that time. I wasn't gonna set a time, I wasn't gonna put pressure. So at 2:28, when I was there and then I hit it at 2:30, it made me feel phenomenal. It made me feel like all of that hard work was for a purpose and a reason. And I felt it all in that moment. Not even crossing the finish line. It was before, like that little bit right before. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm doing this. I'm going to do this. This is happening." And it gave me that like, right? So that was the coolest part about crossing the finish line for that.
Yeah. I love that you highlighted it wasn't just crossing the finish line, but it was like the journey getting there. Because
Yeah.
hours, you're running for hours and
Yeah.
then you hit the
Yeah.
mark. And yeah, I'm so
Yep.
proud that you hit, an unofficial like goal time. But I think
Goal.
we
Yeah,
hit it
right?
right on. Yeah.
It's so cool, man. It gave me a lot of confidence for that too. I'm like that. Oh my goodness. This is like not easy is not the right word, but this is attainable. With hard work and dedication and a little consistency, this is attainable.
Absolutely. Did you face any unexpected challenges while training or on race day?
So the only unexpected challenge is like literally if through the whole training, throughout everything, wasn't even until race day. And it was because I was putting that stuff in my sports bra. That was the only challenge that I gave myself is because I kept my gels in my sports bra. So that was the only challenge. Throughout the training, I was good. I never was too sore or tight. Like there was never an injury. I was doing recovery days, like, so the only unexpected challenge, everything else was expected, was race day. And I will never put stuff in my sports bra again.
That's a good tip for future runners.
It really is.
Definitely.
Don't hold it in your bra just because you think you can. It will
Yeah.
scratch you.
Eesh. I had mine in my pocket and I almost actually forgot about it. But um, if anybody does do the Pure Kona Coffee half marathon, um, they have gel packs for you at
Yeah,
one of the aid
they do.
stations.
They
So, I
do.
mean,
It's very helpful.
bring what works for you, but they do have some for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, is there any other tips you'd give to a novice runner?
My biggest tip would be two biggest tips would be listen to your body. Like don't push yourself too hard and really invest in the active recovery days. Like really invest in some kind of recovery. Yoga, foam rolling, really take time to take care of your muscles. I sat in a hot tub sometimes. That was just the recovery for me, like doing a little bit of yoga and hot tub. But that's what I would tell somebody because it is easy to push yourself, right? Because it is
Right.
such a big deal. It's a big challenge, right? So it'd be easy to push yourself, especially with all the running. But my advice would be listen to your body and really invest time into the active recovery days or like your off running days.
That's a really, really good point. I know we've had a couple conversations around recovery in particular, but you can't do the race without spending time to
No,
recover.
yeah. And that was what was, I think, one of the really helpful things is that you did discuss that stuff with me and I did get to glean some of that from you because I wouldn't have known how. important that was, because I'm somebody who does like to push myself to the absolute limit. So it was cool to have you there to with that knowledge, right? To
Yeah.
remind myself like, oh yeah, this is important. Muscles take time to recover. Like, it's all about the body and listening to what it's telling you.
Yeah. And one thing to note is we did this whole training plan, 12 weeks, and neither of us sustained an injury. Like all we were
Not
healthy the
one.
whole way through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And that's like kind of not rare, but at least there's at least some slight injury for most people. And so that told me that we did a really good job listening to our bodies and not pushing ourselves.
Yeah, no muscle tweaks, no overuse things. There was
Yeah.
definitely times where we had to, listen and taper some of our runs, but
Yeah.
other
Yes.
than that, like we did, like you said, really good job at listening to our bodies.
Yeah, I was proud of us for that.
Yay! Okay, next question. Is there anything else you would like others to know about this experience or about Rise Up Blank?
About this experience, well, I would like people to know that anybody could do this. It literally could be anybody. It just takes time and dedication, and then just a
Yes.
little bit. And I would definitely want people to know about you that you're a very awesome, helpful, encouraging, driven person that really helped me through this. Like I said before, I couldn't and wouldn't have done this by myself. And now in the future, I'll never do a half marathon without you because it is very helpful to have you there. It was amazing. It was fun. I learned a lot about my body and muscle groups and stuff like that. And it was really an adventure the whole way around.
Yeah.
And
Thank
I'm
you.
glad I got to do it. I'm very grateful that I got to do it with you. It was very helpful and encouraging.
Yay. You want to tell them about our next plan?
Yeah, our next half marathon is going to be in March 15th or 19th. I can't remember.
19th, I
19th.
believe. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And so that'll be exciting. It'll be in Hilo, so a different racetrack, but I feel like it'll be cooler. It won't be as
Mm-hmm.
hot. So
Yeah.
um and my goal for the next one is to shave a couple minutes off. See if I could do it between
Woo!
like 2:15 and 2:20. See if I can get a little bit faster.
Yeah. That's an awesome goal. Now that you know what it feels like on your body,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
we'll just progress in our training too. And
Yep.
no doubt you can still achieve that one.
Yeah.
Yay.
Thanks. Yay.
Awesome.
This was a really fun experience. I'm so grateful that it was presented to me the way it was.
Yay. God is good. Well, thank you
Amen.
so much, Tara, for your feedback and testimonial and sharing some of those moments with me.
No problem.
Yay.
Anytime. Can't wait for the next one.